Hello everyone, my name is Buck Business, and I will be taking over this Let's Play of Diablo 2 Lords of Destruction. So, first things first, Kawaii Critic informed me, since this is technically a single player Let's Play, to show you a little bit of a cheat to get a little bit more experience. So, I will do that by pressing enter and writing /players 8. This will set the amount of players that would normally be in a game to 8, which is the amount of players you can get in a 1/game. So I'm going to run through the areas, see what area gives me the best experience. Actually, that wasn't that bad. And proceed to hopefully get a few levels out of this experience. And hopefully I'll get back to being able to do quest instead of not being able to do quest. And more hopefully so being able to get better skills to better assess how to get rid of these demons. So that is the plan for today, and hopefully maybe I can manage to do a quest as well. So we're gonna slash away at these demons and demonettes, I guess, would be the term. I don't know. At any rate, yes, I did take over the channel and all of its assets, including the Let's Plays. So there might be a few Let's Plays that are one-offs, and might be continuations if more and more people want those. And who knows, I might do some other things. But for now, I like to have a place where I can focus on one particular thing. And in this case, it just happens to be this very classic game, Diablo 2, which, to be fair, as Kawaii Critic has mentioned, has held up fairly well for a game that graphically wise isn't anything too impressive, but hey, some of the best games aren't super graphic powerhouses. That's a lesson I learned quite a while ago. Some of the best games just have a unique style and look to them. I remember playing a game called Chariot, I think that's what it was called, and it was a pretty nice game, a puzzle game, if you will, requiring two individuals that carried along a, carriage with this king in it, and there are like different power-ups to do different things, and there are all these secrets. There we go, we got a level, which is exactly what I am looking for. Exactly 9, 10, 11, 12, so a few more levels until I get the fireball, and we'll be able to be a lot more productive in my endeavors as a sorceress, as this class is okay. It's very good for, as I said, the static, or as Kawaii Critic said earlier, the static move. Very powerful stuff. I also hope to get some better gear. Like I said, I'm trying to make this a no-death run. Again, or Kawaii Critic said. That might get confusing, but that's fine. So, I like that enemies in this have the multitude of attacks, so most of them seem to. There only actually seems to be a few creatures that only have, like, the, close-ranged, style. Oh boy. It takes a while to get these creatures down, but in all fairness, if there were actually 7 other people here, this would probably be no problem for them. So, I've been falling behind on my movies lately, as that is something I was trying to prominently keep on my other channel, but things do happen, and well, I would hope to get back into that, as I also do tend to want to get back into movie reviews for this channel as well. Now, the only other thing that I will be expanding to relatively soon is Ruby, which is, as of this recording anyways, is set to come out officially, I believe, within the week. I think that's the time frame. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure. So, I like to date my videos apparently, but that's fine. People will know that I'm probably referring to Season 4, but I'm only going to mention that now just to make it even more specific of when this video is coming out. So the experience is decent enough. It's not anything mind-blowing. That's something I can say with certainty. Heal up, just in case, top it off. One other thing I've been trying to do, since this is technically I'm trying to make this a no-death run, is actually do that legitimately, or at least, do it on a character that actually has, do it on a character that actually has, the death, what's it called? Hardcore. It's called hardcore. And what that means is, as soon as your character dies, that's it. You are no longer able to play as that character. And that is something I am set to try to accomplish. Well, that's a level thing. Oh, right. Yes, so I'm trying to accomplish that. I actually quickly saw that. Oh, nice. A better belt, which means I can carry more items. I'll buy that for now. And I'll put this over here for now. Oopsie. Let's do that for now. Not the most optimal thing that I wanted to get for now, but I think it will help, at least for Act 1, for taking care of these guys. And then when I get to Act 2, that will change, and I will get the best merc for this scenario, and he will follow me throughout the rest of the game, which isn't relatively long, but based on how I've been playing so far, that could be false. I've not been doing the best when it comes to getting good. But like I said, I really hope to change that relatively soon, so this video, probably in its entirety, will be just training. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. Some things just have to be done. And in all fairness, like I said, this is probably not the best type of game to be doing a Let's Play of, considering that it's mostly just whacking things and all that good stuff. But there are games that I feel like have tried to do the whacking, hack and slash type-esque game. No, not hack and slash. What is it? What is this type of game called? It escapes me right now, but I don't know if this is considered hack and slash, but if it is, there is another game that I think was trying to assimilate or copy the style of Diablo 2, that being Digimon World 4. Now, Digimon World 4 was a game that came out, I think, on the PS2. Now, this was a game that both I and Kawaii Critic were very excited about. Digimon World 1 through 3 were relatively good games, and I would say they held up pretty well. Some of them, in some areas, probably stronger than others, but overall, I would say it was a pretty good experience. But Digimon World 4 came along, and I think it came along a few years after Digimon World 3 came out, so there was excitement. I was really excited. Like, Digimon World 4, this is going to change everything about Digimon. That is how I started off, by the way, for those of you who don't know. I was heavily talking about Digimon on my very first channel, as I probably have already mentioned, or Kawaii Critic has mentioned. But Digimon World 4 came with its vast amount of flaws. The hacking, if you will, or the clicking and attacking sort of method of this game didn't come off as something particularly too engaging. Now, to be fair, no, not to be fair, but to be the exact opposite of fair, this game came out, like I said, in the PS2 era. I don't know exactly what year, but this came out, and it had the potential to really bamf up what was possible with this type of game. And what they settled with and what we got was something very impressive. The hacking just didn't feel that good. On top of that, besides not feeling great, there weren't a lot of characters to explore. Now, that is usually a highlight for Digimon games, and that's not just coming from me. That is, what is their count in the games? That tends to be something that seems to be highlighted in Digimon games. Actually, very similar to Dynasty Warriors, is that how many characters are fit into the game, and for Digimon World 4, that just happens to be a very disappointing. I believe it was only 16 Digimon were available, and Digimon World 1 had more Digimon than that, and Digimon World 4 was just slotted to only that many Digimon, and when you got that Digimon, it reset your level, and you had to start all over again. Now, much like Diablo, it had 3 difficulties. I think they were just easy, medium, and hard. And when you beat the game, nothing changes. Now, that isn't even a thing in Diablo. In Diablo, certain creatures get resistances, and that actually is probably about it as far as, but at least it's something. There's something that makes it so that it feels more obligated that you either A, avoid the enemy, or B, feel more inclined to be in a party. So that's the system that Diablo 2 has for Hell primarily. Nightmare, the amount of immune creatures doesn't really pop up that much until the very end. But by that point, like I said, you should be able to avoid those creatures fairly easily. And we won't be going through Nightmare, we'll just be going through the normal game. Since I think that will be enough parts as it is. So I'm gonna try going through the Black Marsh, or the Forgotten Tower quest. I'll give it a shot, and if things don't turn out well, we'll just see how things go from there. Anyways, back to Digimon World 4. So this game had a few other surprises along the way, but from the very first time you beat it, and then when you return to it and expect something different and don't get it, it's a little bit disappointing. Now, you get your Digimon unlocked, you reset them, you go through the same thing over and over again. Besides that issue, one of the other issues, which isn't as big, but it's still a problem, I find. It's more of a nitpick, if anything else, but in the game, you see that you are able to equip items. Now, the items that are marked have these very peculiar symbols, and that's the way that they are ranked. Now, you would normally associate a rank with like A, B, C, D, something like that, something relatively easy to understand. But no, they chose these weird symbols, and it just made the game, as far as equipping stuff go, a little bit more confusing more than anything else. I don't know if that was ever fixed, but it's, like I said, more of a nitpick and more than anything else. But one of the bizarre things that I found out is that the top level, the maximum level of this game, is literally level 999. That is ridiculous. I don't think there should ever be a game where your maximum level is that high. And like I said, since the modes don't change, as soon as you probably reach even level, like, I don't know, 40? I don't know what level, I think it's like 60. I want to say 60 is the safe level where you're able to beat the maximum difficulty without any issues, or less issues. Oh boy. I am just in a mess of enemies right now. Take out these shamans so they don't bring these guys back. They only bring back their own types, which I guess is fair enough. Oh dear. So yes, the items were confusing, and the story I felt could have been a bit more engaging. I felt like, you know, there were a few emergency things here and there, but after you see them the first time, like when you go back and you have to deal with that over again, you just sort of feel like skipping it. It's just not that impressive, and every character is the same. Again, not a problem in Diablo 2. Every character type plays differently. Every character in Digimon World 4 plays exactly the same, which leaves the biggest question: what's the point of picking your favorite Digimon if it's just playing the same Digimon? Now, just to point this out, Digimon Masters actually has almost a very similar issue, where a lot of the Digimon essentially play the same. Now, unlike unlike Digimon World 4, they do sort of have their own moves, and some of them do actually cross over with, like, you could probably mix them up with another Digimon. So it's half and half with that game. And that's on top of the game having, you know, it's, quote, free to play, unquote, meaning that it does have microtransactions, and they changed the name recently. I think they're called coins now, or something along those lines. I don't remember. Just slowly start getting better armor for myself, and yeah. So anyways, Digimon Masters is the very first game I played on my channel, and I immediately started comparing it to Diablo 2. It's an online game. It's a game that more people probably play than Diablo 4 currently. Uh, I can't get it to run on my computer anymore, so that one-off is probably never going to happen on this channel. But if you are curious, I did do a video on it when I had even worse mic quality than I do now, which I'm not saying my mic quality is great, but it is what it is. I can't, unfortunately, get a better microphone at the moment, but I can talk and at least sound like, I don't know. I don't know what the quality sounds like on my own videos that well. I would imagine that it's not great. It's sufficeable, to say the very least, I would hope. I would hope that's the case. So we're almost at level 12, which means I am almost able to be a badass on this game. But with being a badass... Oh wait, there is no downside. I forget. I'll finally be able to move on properly. Or at least I'll feel like I'll be able to move on properly on my own. There we go. So we unlocked Fireball, and we unlocked Blaze. So we're going to put F1 as our Fireball, and we'll give that a shot. It's able to hit multiple targets if they are all set to be aligned in such a way. Alright, drink from the well, make sure everything's as it should be, and we'll start exploring, hopefully deeper into this area. And what's nice about this is that everything from the last time I attempted to get in here is different, so that's also something that's not present in Digimon World 4, is that the map is always the same. So there's no sense of things have shifted or things are different now at all. Now, I've been one who's long advocated the release or announcement of Digimon World 5. I have been wanting to see this very shortly after Digimon World 4 came out, and it's been a long time since Digimon World 4 came out. That came out, as I said, on the PS2, and there hasn't been a game ever since, with the exception of Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. That came out on the PS4, and it only got released because the Westerners, it got released to the West only because the Westerners decided to heavily press the creators to share it with the West, and that's the only reason I was able to obtain and play that game. A game I would love to do for the channel, but again, I don't have the equipment to play that. That would probably require an Elgato or something that I'd be able to record PS4 games with. But besides that, the game really returned to form. It has a decent amount of Digimon. The turn system is just like how it was in Digimon World 2, I think. I think it was Digimon World 2. Either 2 or 3. It actually shows the turns instead of being random, which again is more of a highlight than a criticism. The reveals in that game are really nice for your first time playing through, so I won't reveal those. But I will say that they were nice. But I do feel like like I said, I would still like to see a Digimon World 5 game, like a legit sequel, the next step in the process. Now, what I find fascinating about the Digimon World 5 series, Digimon World series, is that, unlike most franchises that are the same thing over and over again with slight improvements, Digimon World, as a franchise, has never been the same game twice. That is something I will commend, regardless of how I feel about Digimon World 4. I've got to say that they put the gamble on the differences on this. That is a risk these days. I mean, people often cry that they want their thing to be different, and then when they see that their thing is different, they cry that it's too different. So yes, it's a risky endeavor, and for Digimon to do that, where most franchises refuse to change, and if they do change, then the criticism is that they change too much. I have to give Digimon World its props. It's a very unique franchise in that regard. Every game has a slight there's enough variation to the playstyle where you can almost see them as different games. Now, on the flip coin of that, each game feels more like a shout out to a type of game. As I mentioned, Digimon World 4 feels a lot like Diablo 2. And the same could probably be said about the rest of the Digimon World games. I feel, well, no, not even Digimon World 4 can escape this, but that one is the least, I feel, at blame there. I mean, that game, it's a clear indication of being related to Tamagotchi, but that is essentially the same thing, so that one I can see there being less of an argument for why they would do that. Digimon World 2, I believe, was the one where you ride in this sort of vehicle, and you sort of go room by room, and you run out of your energy and stuff of that nature. Now, I don't remember any games that came up before that were like that. In all honesty, I do think that Pokemon Mystery Dungeon was inspired by this as well. It's like I said, I don't know if Digimon World 2 was the first to do this type of game, but I would love to know I would love to know in the comments, if there will ever be any comments on my videos, if there was a game before that had that style. And Digimon World 3 was a very Final Fantasy and Legend of the Dragoon style kind of game, where you would sort of go walking around and you would sort of randomly go into battles with your three Digimon, but only the lead Digimon would be in the battle, but you could switch them out within the battle as well. And I feel like that's also akin to being like Pokemon a bit, to be fair. A lot of people say that there isn't enough comparison from Pokemon and Digimon. I disagree on that statement. I believe they have both clearly been inspired by each other time and time again. And besides advocating for a clear sequel, a fifth game in the franchise, an official one, I've also been heavily advocating the crossover game of Pokemon vs. Digimon. And what do you know, I was able to finally kill the Countess. Quest completed. There you go, folks. Quest completed. I was able to accomplish this goal, and I'll put another point in Fireball, so it's a little bit stronger now. That's how this works. I'm gonna go head back to town. If there's anyone with an explanation point like this, I will read what they have to say. Well done, my friend. Courage and opportunity together have created in you a kind of alchemy. Wait for it. Oh, that's it? Okay. Identify items. Any other, you have anything new? No. Nothing new there. Okay. And nothing new there. Alrighty then. So we have our first, I believe our first rune word, which is a tell rune. As you can see, it gives me 30 to poison resist if I put it on certain things, and if I put it on a weapon, it will give me poison damage. I can't use that until I'm a certain level. I could put it on something now, but it will probably make the level requirement go up to a point where I can't even use it anyways. So I'll put that in there for now. Could come in a lot of use later if I want some poison resistance. I think that's a little bit better than having poison attack. I'll get myself, again, better armor. Put that on. And I'll switch out this for this. Now, the reason why I'm putting those in there is I'm going to wait to give those to my mercenary in Act 2 when I replace Valicia. There we go. Alright. Look for the barracks. Go here. Let's have a look around, shall we? Since the last two Let's Plays of this have been severely lacking in content, I feel that it'd probably be best to attempt to at least get a second quest done. I think that would be fair enough. I don't want this Let's Play to drag out too long, but then again, after this, I have no other full Let's Play in mind. Like I said, probably I'll be able to do some one-offs, if anything else. I might be able to do a classic game of maybe a full Let's Play of a classic game if anyone's still interested in those at all. But we'll see. So we're looking around in this barracks for a hammer for Charcy, and once she obtains it, she will give us the ability to improve an armor that doesn't have any special qualities in it, and that will allow us to make an armor better or whatever. So there's that. Alrighty, so we're gonna skip over those enemies because they look a bit too intense, and even my fireball is just not cutting it, so I'm gonna static them up a bit. But getting back to what I would want to see in Digimon World 5, because I really do want to see this happen. So, here it goes. So, I think they can actually expand on what they were attempting to do in Digimon World 4. And, like I said, there's enough differences for the first 3 games where you could tell them apart. So, Digimon World 4 was sort of like Diablo. I would like Digimon World 5 to tackle like a Dynasty Warrior-esque type game. Very hack and slash, but extend that a little bit further, as I would feel like one of the improvements of a hack and slash game, such as Dynasty Warriors, is an AI improvement. That seems to be a criticism that holds very strong to every single Dynasty Warriors game. Well, most Dynasty Warriors games, I should say. I don't know if it's an issue in every single one of them, but I would say most of them, where the AI just sort of stands around and waits for you to attack. Oh dear. But, yes, I feel like there could be room for some improvement on the AI, but other than that, yes, I would like to see Digimon World 5 sort of tackle, like I said, a very close to hack and slash type game. Now, what I feel like would set this apart from the previous entry is, like Dynasty Warriors, have the characters involved, have them have a story, have them have dialogue. Now, in Digimon Cyber Sleuth, the humans are primarily the focus and they have voice acting, and the Digimon have voice acting for the first time ever in a Digimon game, which I am so glad that they were finally able to introduce voice acting for the Digimon in that game. Since I'm trying to go for a full complete style, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a teleport here, and I'm going to look for a waypoint, which is that platform. We'll see it on the map, and you'll probably know it when you see it. Oh, it wasn't that far. So this is what I was looking for. I'll take the teleport anyway, even though it wasn't that far. That's fine. There we go. I'm going to actually wait until we get to the next waypoint, and I'm going to call it there, but until then, keep talking about what I would want to see in Digimon World 5. So, like I said, I want each Digimon involved in the game to have their own story, and for them to have their own dialogue, and, their own character type, instead of all being lumped together like in Digimon World 4. So that would mean getting all their own voice actors and all that good stuff. And I would feel even more better, at least as a personal preference, if they were able to get that in English. Now, I've been heavily inclined to say that I don't know if they'd be able to get all the voice actors back as far as Digimon are concerned. But in Digimon Tri, they were actually almost able to get everyone as far as both humans and Digimon were concerned, I believe. Oh dear. I'm in a very difficult situation right here. I'm going to teleport back. I'm going to give the hammer back. See what Charcy has to say. Oh, thanks so much for returning the Herodic Malice. I will now imbue one of your items with magical power. So there's the imbue. I don't know if I can imbue a thing that has sockets in it. Let me check. No, I cannot. I cannot enchant anything that's blue. I can enchant this. So, since this relatively doesn't usually do anything that great, so I'll just give it to that. Alright, that's fine. So that's a quest completed. That would have stayed saying Charcy will imbue your item until you've done so, and once you've done so, it will finally say your quest is completed. Alright, throw that and get some money. Alrighty. Whew, we're gonna go back. Oh, Deckard King has something for us. It is certain that we face the Demon Queen and Dario, who has corrupted the Rogue Sisterhood and defiled their ancestral monastery. This does not bode well for us, my friend. Ancient Herodic texts record that evil Dario and the other lesser evils once overthrew the three prime evils, Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal, banishing them from hell to our world. Here they caused mankind untold anguish and suffering before they were finally bound with the Soul Stones. And Dario's presence here could mean that the forces of hell are once again aligned behind Diablo and his brothers. If this is true, then I fear for us all. You must kill her before the monastery becomes a permanent outpost of hell, and the way east lost forever. Alright. So, find Dario's lair in the depths of the monastery catacombs. Alrighty then. So that is our final quest for Act 1, and oh dear, so this creature is a bit too much for me, so I'm going to flee my very best. So as I was saying before I was almost killed, is I would love to see that in Digimon World 5 have English voice acting. Like I said, they were able to get that for Digimon Try the movie, so it would probably be very befitting if they could get the voice actors to do the Digimon. But hey, if they couldn't, I would sign up. I mean, I've been able to imitate, I should say, a lot of the Digimon. And I've done so in actually some of my previous videos, but I don't know if I should do that here. Unless somebody requests for me to do it, I don't feel very obligated to do it right now. That's just how I think things work. Like I said, if anyone wants to see that, I will make a separate video just doing that by itself. But I would so do that if that would mean that we could get a Digimon World 5 game, a proper sequel in the franchise that is very unique in its own right. And I think that having, like I said, a Dynasty Warriors-esque type game where the AI is still a bit more intelligent does set it far enough apart from Digimon World 4. And that would include having the Digimon that are available, giving them unique move sets, so each style, each character plays differently enough from the next, so that, you know, each experience and each story feels unique and different. So I've finally made it to the inner cloister. I believe that's how it's pronounced. We have a dead rogue there. We have our waypoint that I said I was going to stop at. I'm going to go back to the rogue encampment. And with that being said, this will be the end of this video. This has been Buck Business, and if you like this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And this has been Buck Business. And farewell until next time.